Where's the circus of value?
I've been spotted. Didn't even have time to say I've been made. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of DPLIve. My name is Dana Pond and you'd be watching this DPLIve, possibly even in real time. Today I am joined on the couch by my best friend Purt Pickles from Canadian indie rock band Lost As Found. And if you want to check out the Canadian indie rock band Lost As Found, check out the links in the description below. There's Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, all those good places. You can listen to it. So we got the chat here. Luna Zade says, hello. And Jodl says, what's up, broski? How do you like my acting, Luna? Hey guys, welcome Luna, welcome Jodl. Good to see you guys here in the chat. So today we're playing Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. We're picking up where we last left off. So the last episode was a lot. We had professed our love to Sayori, and we went back to go pick her up when she didn't come to school, and we found her there in her bedroom, and mature content warning, but she had hung herself, and it's really unfortunate and stressful. And the game offered us a chance to go back, or well, it said that we couldn't, but I mean, like, we had an opportunity to load our save, but I mean, what would we have said differently? what could we have said differently? I mean, we'd have to play through it again to find out, but now all of our saves are gone, and we're starting a new game, and there is no Sayori, and we've always walked to school alone, so it's a bit creepy. Yet somehow Monica still knows us, or like knows who we are. Luna Zane says, you sounded Canadian there, bud, to Jodl. So, yeah, we're going to hop on into the game. Let's get back to it and see, maybe go through the hard drive or whatever of the fake computer that they have and see what files have changed. If any files have changed, we could find out. Oh. Jodl says, thank you, don't really know what I was going for. Okay, is it just me, or does this pink look very similar to the pink that I use for DPLIve? It looks almost deliberate, but like, I swear that's really close to the pink that I use. Okay, that controller's not working right. Monica says, I'm back! And I brought a guest with me. What the hell? Girl 1 says, hey? A guest? Girl 2 says, seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Monica says, don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Dana. Dana says, ... All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Girl 2, so let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right? Dana says, what? Dana says, no, I'm not. Girl 1 says, Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Monica says, anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And Luna Zade says, LOL, yes. Jodl says, yes, it does. And Monica says, and this is Yuri, the vice president. Yuri says, it's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Dana, yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. Monica says, so I ran into Dana in a classroom and they decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Natsuki says, wait, Monica, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Monica says, sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into them. Yuri says, in that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Monica says, yeah, that would be great. Monica says, why don't you come sit down, Dana? Lunazade says, why does Natsuki think you're Monika's boyfriend? Has Monika been telling people things? Monika says, why don't you come sit down, Dana? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. Monika, so I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Dana says, I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. Monika said, you could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Natsuki says, well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri runs to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting the teapot down in the middle. Dana, you keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Yuri says, don't worry, the teachers give us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Dana, I guess. Monika, don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Yuri, that's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. And Jodl says, didn't they accuse her of having a boyfriend last playthrough? I'll have to go back and check. I don't remember specifically if they accused her of having a boyfriend. Yuri says, I meant that, you know? Dana, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea, says Dana. Yuri, I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Yuri, so Dana, what kind of things do you like to read? Dana, well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Dana says, manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head perks up. Suddenly she wants to say something, but she keeps... No, it looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Lunazade says, I don't recall that. I'm sorry we don't remember. Yuri says, not much of a reader, I guess. Dana, well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Yuri says, well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. Jodl says, Luna, are you team Yuri or Natsuki? Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds comfort in the world of books, not people. Yuri says, but you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination and completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Dana says, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp something that I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Monika says, I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Lunazade says, I kinda lean more into Yuri. Monika, it suits your personality. Yuri, oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Natsuki says, ugh, I hate horror. Yuri, oh, why is that? Natsuki, well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Jodl says, good, that's the right answer. Lunazade says, oh, good. I didn't know there was a right answer. Jodl says, you passed the quiz. Natsuki says, never mind. Monika says, that's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? Natsuki says, but what? What gives you that idea? Monika says, you left a piece of scrap paper behind it at last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called, Don't Say It Out Loud! And give that back. Fine, fine, says Monika. Natsuki, Dana says, Natsuki, you write your own poems? Natsuki, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? Dana says, I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? Natsuki says, no. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Dana, so not a very confident writer yet? Yuri says, I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Monika says, do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Dana says, I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Monika, hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Nat and Yuri, ... Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Natsuki says, Yuri says, ... Monika says, I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Yuri says, well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president, after all. Yuri is the vice president? I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Dana? Dana, hold on, there's still one problem. Monika says, What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. Dana, I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Monika, but... Yuri, sorry, I thought... Natsuki, Dana, The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. Monika, I guess I need to tell you the truth, Dana. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4, and I've been trying really, really hard to find new members, and if we don't find one before the festival... Dana, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation, and besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Dana says, right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Says Monika. Do you really mean that, Dana? Yeah, says Dana. It could be fun, right? Yuri says, you really did scare me for a moment. Natsuki says, I mean, if you really just left after all this, I'd be super pissed. Monika says, Dana, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Dana says, thanks, I guess. Monika says, okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment? Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so that we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Monika says, Dana, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Dana says, yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. Dana, I guess I'll be on my way then. Monika, okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. Jodel says, aw, that's so sad. What's so sad? Which part? What part was sad? With that, I depart the clubroom and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Let's write this poem. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Yes, obviously. I can't convince myself to go to therapy when I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'd rather keep this up until I blow my cover and someone takes me to the emergency room. Infinite. Heaven Sent. Jodl says the part where they're searching super hard for new members but that they can't find anyone. Oh, that part is sad. Agreed. Sorry. Heaven Sent. Massacre. Destiny. Bubbles. Ha. Universe. Ooh, strawberry. Tragedy, death. Uncontrollable swimsuit, sparkle, playground, vitality, passion, play, journey, atone, family. Passion. Daydream. Pure. Let's do rainbow this time. Adventure. No, wonderful. Sing. Why is despise and unstable? Yo. Lunazade says they did not assume that Monica has a boyfriend in Act 1 last time. Just checked. Thanks for double checking. Fact check. Kitty! Peaceful. Doki Doki. Starscape. Oh, suicide's in that one. Imagination. Heartbeat. Jodl says, alright, my bad, lol. Yeah, no worries. Happiness. And fireworks. Candy. Monica says, hi again, Dana. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Haha. Opening my ginger ale. Dana says, nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Oh, whoa, did you see Yuri's face? I caught that. I may have been giving Purt ginger ale, but I caught that. I saw Yuri's face. Weird, glitchy stuff started happening. Thanks for keeping your promise, Dana. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Whoa! Natsuki was super glitch. Natsuki says, oh, come on, like they deserve any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Monica's in front of the text box. Natsuki certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps their manga. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Did you guys see that? That was weird, right? Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Dana, says Yuri. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Yuri, anyway. Now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Dana, well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do some of that, something like that, if you ask. Yuri, wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you really don't want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. Dana, no, it's not that, Yuri. I just want to try and be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Yuri says, are you sure? I just felt like, Yuri, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you usually don't read. Luna Zaid says all the glitches are creepy. Yeah, no, they are. Yuri, and we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Yuri, phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. And now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Natsuki, ugh! I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. Dana, are you looking for something in there? Natsuki... Okay, swear warning. I'm reading it. Natsuki says, fucking Monica. Natsuki, she never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Dana, manga. Natsuki, you read manga, right? Dana, sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit if you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. Dana, how did you know anyway? Dana, I heard you bring it up at... Natsuki, I heard you bring it up at some point. Natsuki, besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? Dana, I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. Natsuki, there it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Natsuki, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. Dana, I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Dana, Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. Natsuki, if you're gonna judge, you can do it through the glass on the door. And she points to the classroom door. Dana, hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. Natsuki, it was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Dana. Consider this a lesson straight from the... Natsuki, don't judge a book. What is up with that? In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. This is creepy. Natsuki, I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. Dana, I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in a colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. Dana says, "What?" Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable, says Dana. I take my seat. Natsuki, chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Dana, why is that? Yeah, I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Natsuki, don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Dana, sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad timing thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I'm gonna put on my glasses. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Natsuki, wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? Dana says, You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Natsuki, not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? Dana, I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can't talk at the same time. It looks like a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice of life affair. I kinda grew out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. Dana, are you sure this isn't boring for you? Natsuki, it's not. Dana, even though you're just watching me read? Natsuki, well, I'm fine with that. Dana, if you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. Dana, I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? Natsuki, ... Dana, You don't... Natsuki, that's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. Dana, what do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Natsuki, could you not rub it in? Natsuki, jeez. Luna Zade says, stupid cuteness. Dana, sorry. Natsuki, Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of any of that? Makes me want to punch them in the face. Dana, I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated towards the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Natsuki, Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? Natsuki, I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it up in my own room. Natsuki, oh, okay. My dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monika's kind of a jerk about it. Oh, I just can't win, can I? Well, I paid it off in the end, didn't I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? Says Dana. Dana, I mean, here I am, reading it. Meta. I mean, here I am, reading it. Natsuki, well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Dana, maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? Natsuki, So? Dana, ahahaha. Natsuki, geez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Dana, yeah. I flipped the page. Meta. ... Many dots. More dots. ... Time passes. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. It looks like she started to fall asleep. Dana, hey Natsuki. Natsuki, yeah? Suddenly Natsuki collapses straight into me. Dana, hey! That's really creepy. Monika says, oh geez. Jottle says, this game is quite meta, lol. Yeah. Monika says, oh geez. Natsuki, are you okay? And Lunazade says, oh my Lanta. Natsuki says, ... Here, says Monika. Monika reaches into her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She throws it in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up again. She snatches the bar from the floor and immediately tears off the wrapper. Natsuki, I told you not to give... She doesn't even finish her sentence before stuffing it into her mouth. Monika, don't worry, Dana. She's fine. It just happens every now and then. Yeah, that's a little awkward. That's why I always keep a snack in my bag for her. Monica, anyway, why don't we all share poems now? Who should I show my poem to first? Who do we want to show our poem to first? Does it really matter? Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. Yuri, ... Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Dana, Yuri, oh. Sorry, I forgot to start speaking. Yuri, It's fine, don't force yourself, says Dana. Yuri, I'm not. I just needed to put my thoughts into words. Yuri, hold on. Okay, this is your first time writing a poem, right? Dana, yeah? Why do you ask? Yuri, I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. So it's that bad, says Dana. Yuri, no! Did I just raise my voice? Yuri, I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we haven't really gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine. I really didn't notice, says Dana. What were you saying? Yuri, right. Just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they try to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. And the end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Yuri, of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are many different skills and techniques that go into writing a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Dana, biased? How? Yuri, well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that, sorry. Dana, it's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Dana, do you mind if I read your poem now? Yuri, please do. Yuri, I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if it's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Yuri, ... I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. Dana says, what? I wasn't thinking that at all. Yuri, but it took you a long time to read. Dana says, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. Yuri, eh? That's a relief. Dana, also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. Yuri, it wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Dana says, not at all. Yuri says, I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Dana, are you into ghosts, Yuri? Yuri, hoo. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Dana. Dana says, really? I must have totally missed the point. Yuri, well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. Dana, that's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Yuri says, it's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things, too. Dana says, yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. And Yuri says, I'm counting on you. Natsuki says, ... Luna Zade says, Cyberpunk 2077 is 50% off. Rude. LMAO. Right? Advertising on my stream. Dana, ... question mark. Natsuki, okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Dana says, Natsuki rereads my poem. Natsuki says, never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Dana says, then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. Natsuki says, Dana says, in fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? That's what I had in mind when writing this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours, like Monica said. Natsuki said, well, I'd be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You're supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha, well, it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. And I hope you're happy. Dana, ... So in other words, you're saying you liked it. Natsuki, irk. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. Natsuki, you just don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that. You don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. Dana, pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or a loss that she liked my poem. Dana, in any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Natsuki, fine, I guess. But only because Monica will make me if I don't. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Jodl says, wow, Dana, you dare write something good? Such an awful person. How dare I write such a good poem? It's unfair. Natsuki says, yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. Dana says, I like it. Natsuki says, what? Just be honest. Dana says, I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Natsuki says, well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't take my writing seriously. Dana says, but isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Natsuki says, yeah, exactly. Natsuki says, I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Natsuki, like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Dana says, yeah, I understand. Natsuki, but the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, and then made it all fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out that feeling in the last line. Dana, so you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. Natsuki, that's what it means to be a pro. Natsuki, I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Dana, yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show my poem to next? How about Monica? Monica, hi Dana! Having a good time so far? Dana, yeah. Monica, good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Dana, alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Monica, anyway, I want to share your poem with me? Dana, it's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Monica, ahahahaha. Don't worry, Dana. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Dana, yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Monica, I like it, Dana. Dana says, really? It's a lot cuter than I expected, says Monica. Ahahaha. Oh geez, says Dana. No, no, says Monica. It kind of makes me feel like something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer too, so take that as a compliment, says Monica. Ah ha 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 ha, says Dana. If you say so. Monica, yep. If you're interested in Natsuki, then always keep a snack on you. She'll cling to you like a puppy. Ah ha ha ha. Natsuki's dad doesn't give her lunch money or leave her any food in the house, so she's in a fussy mood pretty often. But sometimes she just loses all of her strength and shuts down. Like earlier. This is just a guess, but I think she's so small because her malnutrition is interfering with her adolescent growth. But hey, some guys are into petite girls, you know? Sorry, just trying to look at the bright side. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good, says Monica. Dana, you sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Monica, well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel like that way, you know? Dana says, I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Monica, so what do you think? Dana, it's very freeform if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not the right person to ask for feedback. Monica, haha, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Dana, what's the inspiration behind this one? Monica, well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. But I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. Dana, an epiphany? Monica, yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try too hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. So just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about this is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you just get a big dark puddle of ink. Referencing Bendy and the Ink Machine. Huh? No. Maybe? Monica, so just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Dana, phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. Natsuki, what's with this language? Yuri, eh? Did you say something? Natsuki, oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy, says Natsuki. Yuri, ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Natsuki, cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? Yuri, I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Natsuki, eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Yuri, well, I do have a couple suggestions. Natsuki, If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Dana did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, Yuri, excuse me? I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. Natsuki, And Dana liked my poem too, you know, says Yuri. They even told me they were impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Yuri, eh? That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Dana appreciates my advice more than they appreciated yours. Jotaro says Natsuki is so rude. Yeah, rude, blunt, abrupt. Natsuki, huh? And how do you know they didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? Yuri says, ... No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Natsuki, ooh. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Danna started showing up. Yuri, Natsuki. Monica, Natsuki, that's a little... both of them. This doesn't involve you. Luna's aide also says Natsuki is really... What's happening? You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. What is happening? You really look as young as you look. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki? Me? Who's talking, you edgy wannabe bitch? Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know? Yuri, if you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think that you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Natsuki, whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad, you already do, don't you? Holy. Yuri, did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Natsuki, yeah, go on. Let Danna hear everything you really think. I'm sure they'll be head over heels for you after this. Yuri, Yuri suddenly turns towards me, as if she just noticed I was standing here. Yuri, Danna! She's trying to make me look bad. Natsuki, that's not true. She started it. Jotl says, are we having a seizure? Yeah, everything's fading to black. Danna, ... How did I get dragged into this? What? I'd like to have been able to have read that. Let's go with Yuri. We can't go with Yuri. We can't go with Natsuki. Monica? This is really weird. Monica, ... Hey, Danna. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Says Monica. Okay? Monica, sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. Luna's aide says, what, the actual duck? So yeah, that was a lot. That was intense. That was a weird scene. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Ahahaha. Some president I am, right? Says Monica. I can't even confront my own club members properly. Jotl says, I guess that's the psychological horror for you. Yeah, that was intense. It was intense and stressful, and I thought that we were going to die. Luna's aide says, yup. I can't even confront my own club members properly, says Monica. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. That seems sus. This seems sus. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. Natsuki's crying. Natsuki dot dot dot. She quickly runs away. Monica, oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. Yuri, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri's rocking back and forth with her desk and her palms on her forehead. Dana, Yuri? I didn't mean it, says Yuri. Dana, I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki, or did. Yuri, Dana, please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's just something wrong with me today. Monica says, it's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Speaking for us. Monica, besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget about it all by tomorrow. Monica, completely. That's ominous. Yuri, dot dot dot. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Dot dot dot. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out, says Monica. I'll wait for you to be done. Jottle says, well, I've got to go in a minute, so have fun with this. Well, thanks for hanging out, Jottle. Thanks for playing video games, and thanks for talking in the chat. It's good to see your name in the chat. Good to see you. Until next time, we'll catch you in the next stream. And Jottle says, see you in the next one, Jottle. Monica says, I'll wait for you to be done. Yuri, dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today. Monica, it kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. Yuri says, it's not that. Yuri, it's not that. I just didn't get that much of a chance to discuss my book with Dana. It would be embarrassing with you listening. Monica, sigh. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? Yuri, I'm sorry for causing trouble, but... boop. Sweet. Special. Determination. Marshmallow. Aura. Bubbles. Crimson Massacre is in there. Peace. Vivacious. Clouds. Poof. Daydream. No candy. Forgive. Strawberry. Fireflies. Unstable. Incongruent. Extraordinary. Horror. Sparkle. Joy. Excitement. Happiness. Another day passes and it's time for the club meeting already. um, we're at like the hour mark, pretty much, and there's a lot of reading in this game. So if you don't mind me taking a break from my voice, I think we made a decent amount of progress. It seems like creepy stuff is about to happen. We're gonna have to find out what that is in the next episode. But thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for playing video games with me. Thanks for joining us on the couch. And just remember that that was a stream, a live stream. That my name is Dana Pond, and that you watched it, DPLIve, possibly even real time. And that this is my best friend Purt Pickles from Canadian indie rock band Lost as Found. And if you want to check out Canadian indie rock band Lost as Found, check out the links in the description below. There's Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, and all those good places that you can want them. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. Oh, this side. We have a button for that. It's right over here. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Because when you do that, you can turn on the notifications, and you can find out when we're going DP live. And when you know when I'm live, you can come hop in the chat, and you can come talk to me. And if you come talk to me, I will catch you in the next episode. You catch me in the chat, I'll catch you in the next episode. That's how that works. So thank you for watching, and thanks for hanging out, and thanks for playing video games. And Lunazaid says, I'll see you in the next episode of DP Live. I'll see you in the next episode too, Luna. Okay. Bye, guys. Catch you in the next episode.